weep, grind on, weep, ninny bum. We're back with a brand new video here. Excuse me. I know it's been actually a couple weeks, I believe, since I posted my last video, but I was a bit under the weather. And so I'm back now. I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. And I've been actually devoting a little more time to the HBCU football coverage over on the website. So definitely check that out. But I digress. So, and as usual, I'm in the mobile studio. So if there's any variance in audio quality, please attribute it to that. I almost forgot to say that. So, without further ado, let's get into today's video. And if you see the picture, you know who's going to be the subject of the video. And like I said, dating back to even when Bronny James was in college and even starting to go through the draft process, I was very measured and very careful in terms of my criticism, because I saw there were some things out there that I thought was really unfair and really off base. And I think some of the residual angst that stems perhaps from some of the machinations of his father was spilling over to Bronny, and I really didn't think that was fair. And so any criticism that I lobbied against him was strictly what I saw take place on the basketball court. And so the Lakers played the other night. I don't even know what today is, October the 6th. What day was that? Was that last night? It might have been last night. My days are so thrown off. Whatever day October the 6th was, they played. They lost to the Phoenix Suns. Bronny did not play particularly well. I think he had a goose egg. He might have had 2 rebounds. He had 4 turnovers, and he was a negative 16 on the evening. He only took 1 shot in his 13 minutes of action. Now, here's the thing, and I've been watching this for the longest, even when, his name was being bantered about in the process, and I said to myself, surely he's not going to come out. Because here's the thing, anybody with basketball brain 1 could see that though there was some tools there, freshman year, he just wasn't ready. And that's not a knock on Bronny James. He's not the first player that we've ever said maybe after 1 season was not ready for the NBA. So that particular criticism is not exclusive to LeBron James Jr. It's not. But when you watch it, and you have to also consider that this young brother almost died, okay, because of that heart issue. So coming back from that, even my expectations, again, were rather low, because, we talk coming back from a knee injury, an ankle, a shoulder, or whatever, that's one thing. But when you come back from heart issues, that's a totally different issue. Because if you recall, Chris Bosh's career was cut short because of heart issues. And he's talked about it, that, he wanted to play, but no team was willing to clear him in order to play because of the associated risks. So you have to understand that this is not a minor, I don't even want to call it a setback, but a minor issue that he was dealing with. This was potentially not only life-altering, but life-ending. So coming back to play basketball in your driveway, pick up basketball at the Y, much less Division I college athletics, is nothing short of impressive in and of itself. Now, so with that being said, I wasn't expecting to see him come back and drop 30 a night, because that's never really been his game anyway. He did what he did. I think he averaged, 5 points a game or something like that. But, he's going through the process, and I said, surely he's just going to gauge the temperature, see what teams say he needs to work on, and then he's going to go back to school and have a bang-up season. And then next year, maybe he'll be ready. But no, and we all know what happened. He got drafted with the 55th pick, not arguably, the most hyped up, scrutinized, studied, paid attention to 55th pick in NBA history. Think about this. When the NBA went to the 2-day draft format, did you even watch it on the second day? much less until the 55th pick. Did you? I doubt that you did, because I know I didn't, and I love basketball, but I didn't. And so, excuse me. And so, obviously, the attention was on even before day one. But honestly, when you have looked at it, be it summer league, even into these first preseason games, I'm going to be honest, he has never had. I've never watched and said, wow, he had a good game. He's had maybe a moment here or two there, but there's nothing that I would say that, wow, he balled out. And the funny thing is, in terms of attention, the draft pick that they had, who went in the first round, Dalton Connect, has been balling. But you wouldn't even know he's on the team. He gets zero attention. And when have you ever seen that? A high first round pick gets no attention, while the 55th pick, who's playing bad, gets all the attention and the scrutiny and all of those things. Now, in some ways, that could be, for Dalton Connect, that could be a good thing, because he can do his work without all of the spotlight and just kind of do his thing. But moving along, I said he's not played well, and quite frankly, it's becoming more and more evident with each minute that he's on an NBA floor that at this point, October the 8th? I don't know. The 7th? I told you my days are whatever day. That he's not an NBA player. And he's getting a lot of criticism because of the bad games that he's had, because, once you're a professional, you are not, unless you're your father, you are not, my mind just went totally blank. You're not someone who can avoid, that wasn't the word I wanted to use, but you're not someone who's immune, that's what it was, to criticism, righteous criticism, I'll say, based on what you do on the basketball court. Let me further qualify it with that. And when you look at it, it hasn't been good. I mean, and I've gotten to where I really feel bad for Bronny James, because he's been put in an almost impossible situation. The only way it could possibly, unless he came out, and was dropping like 22 a night, and he was playing really, really, really high level basketball, which unfortunately we didn't see it at USC. And we haven't seen it up till now. And I feel bad because, like I said, he's been placed in a position where he's not been set up for success, where the things that he can do is not being highlighted. And I have to be honest, this young brother, his future has been sacrificed at the altar of the selfish legacy of his father, because of this whole moment of wanting to play with his son and have that whole deal. And at a certain level, as a father, I get it. But he's not the first. LeBron James is not the first player to have a son to follow in his footsteps. We've seen it throughout history, with Brent and John Berry, sons of Rick Barry. You've seen it with, of course, he didn't necessarily make it. You've seen it with Patrick Ewing Jr. You've seen it with Sharif O'Neal, who's in the G League now, Scottie Pippen Jr., KJ Martin. The list goes on and on and on. Of course, by the time they came of age, so the time their fathers were retired, so they didn't have that opportunity. LeBron James, with his extended longevity, has that opportunity, and I don't knock him for wanting to do that. But at the same time, it should have been very obvious, because LeBron James is many things, but stupid, I think, is not one of them. And when you look at and you evaluate, it should have been pretty obvious that we might have been approaching Bruno Caboclo territory. And if you know the line where the best line in draft history, where I think it was Fran Schiller said the guy he's 2 years away from being 2 years away. And while I said he's not that bad, my thought was he would be a 4-year player. And maybe LeBron didn't think he would be playing in 4 years. And so they ramped up the timeline, ultimately, deleteriously, on his son and got him in the NBA. And it's just becoming more and more evident that right now he's just not ready. He's just not. And I think what they've got to do, and Dreamers Pro talked about it on his video, they've got to get him to the G League as quickly as possible. So one, he can avoid the bright, hot lights of the media attention and scrutiny that he's already getting, so you can try to preserve some semblance of his confidence and his mental stability as a basketball player. Though you could make the argument coming back from near death, playing basketball should be pretty easy, and that's something I wouldn't argue with. But just from a distraction standpoint, they should just move him to the South Bay Lakers as quickly as possible, and kind of just let him cook down there and develop, and just see what happens. But like I said, man, I just feel like I don't begrudge him, and when I criticize him, I take no pleasure in it, because I can see that the young brother was just not ready, and he was just moved along to a spot, quite frankly, that he wasn't ready for. It's kind of like in professional wrestling. If, the Booker's son all of a sudden gets pushed to the moon, and it's obvious that the kid can't work, the kid's a bad promo, but yet he's getting this spot that maybe more deserving guys aren't getting. And for those of you who are familiar with the wrestling business, you'll understand that analogy. And that's kind of what it screams in a lot of senses, and the Lakers are at a position where they need dudes. If you've got AD, LeBron James, who's still a very, very good player, regardless of how you want to say he's reaching or maintaining these heights. I mean, there's no there's no hard evidence of what he may or may not be doing, but at any rate, he's still playing at a very, very high level, and so you want to maximize Anthony Davis and that tandem while you got it before he potentially gets mad and leaves. And you want to try to get dudes in there that can help you win games and get to the playoffs and ultimately try to push toward a championship. And Bronny James is not a player today, this season, likely next season. Is not a guy that's going to help you get to your championship aspirations. And so, that part has been covered ad nauseum. But yeah, like I said, man, I just feel real bad for this young brother, man, and I really, really hope that he can develop. While he's probably not going to be a star caliber, an all-star caliber player, but a solid guy that can contribute to winning basketball, whether that be in the starter, maybe in a highly called upon, relied upon reserve guy. He can carve out a successful NBA career in whatever niche that he finds for himself. I don't wish any ill will on that young brother. I want to see him succeed, as I do with anybody who's pursuing what it is that they love to do, if that's what he loves to do. Some people say they don't think he's really got the heart for the game. And since I've never talked with him, I don't know. That's, just speculative. But I just wanted to kind of say that as I watched. I just noticed that. And with that being said, I'm going to end this video. But as I do, let me know what you think. As you watch, what do you think, as you've watched Bronny James, what do you think about his career prospects long term? What do you think about how he has played so far? Are there some positives that perhaps he and the Lakers could build on going forward? Just let's have a conversation about it in the comment section. But as always, thank you for spending a few moments with me. Definitely appreciate that. And as always, please, 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 make sure to tell the ones that you love them.